Hertz stock went up over 50% after the company announced on Thursday its plans to sell up to $1 billion in new bankrupt stock. After announcing the opportunistic sale of newly bankrupt shares, investors are bidding the rental car company's stock up 50% this morning and back above its pre-bankruptcy levels. You cannot make this stuff up. Beyond corrupt and out-of-the-box insanity. Peak stupidity and insanity. Hertz up 25% plus next week, bet on it. Robinhood autists will buy it with both fists. This is a bet that stupidity exceeds infinity, and one guaranteed to pay. This will be epic. They will clean out the stockholders, dump 80% of the cars, all the insiders will pay themselves handsomely, then the debt will get a restructure, and fresh stock will be issued again at $20 per share IPO, of course after the insiders give themselves a large chunk of that fresh stock block. And the public will buy it with both fists. If a consumer ran up a debt on a credit card knowing they're about to claim bankruptcy, that's fraud and can be prosecutable. But corporate welfare socialists get away with whatever they want with Wall Street and the banks. Every big corporation is now literally too big to fail and essential. Total corptocracy is what the USA has devolved into. Absolutely no moral hazard or accountability for anyone but the sheep. Nothing changes until the guillotines roll. We are in a bubble right now. The only thing that looks good is the stock market. But if you raise interest rates even a little bit, that's going to come crashing down. We are in a big fat ugly bubble. And we better be awfully careful. We have a Fed that's doing political things by keeping the interest rates at this level. The Fed is not doing their job, the Fed is being more political than Secretary Clinton. By the way, those were the words of candidate Trump in 2016, not of today. Stocks are up because our counterfeiting Federal Reserve keeps digitizing dollars and that trillions of newly coined currency have to go somewhere. Well, it goes into the stock market, pure and simple. What a grand scheme. Seriously, has no one noticed that trillions were just stolen from citizens and handed to the bankers? The Fed knows we are screwed. So blow bigger bubbles to try and make this mess go away. Why the hell do you think it's going up? The Fed robs from the poor to give to the rich. They gave the common man $1,200 to look the other way. This market's such a joke. So many of us have our retirement funds and 401ks invested in this joke of a market. The stock market is no longer about anything. Hertz files bankruptcy, and people are still trading their stock. It was up 888% in 3 days, then down 60% in a day or two, and now it's up to 50+% today. The Robin Hoods are buying Hertz, hand over fist. I think that they think that Chapter 11 is the one after Chapter 10. The same thing with Chesapeake Energy. Another bankrupt company that saw its stock jump from $17 per share to $72 per share in a matter of a few hours only to drop right back down to $17 in a day. With days like yesterday, a week's worth of gains is wiped out in a day. I just don't see how equity buyers see any value with the debt so high. The bondholders are going to take a haircut too. Until the Robinhooders are gobsmacked by reality, this lunacy will continue. What if the Fed is doing this with its own Robinhood account? Anything is possible in this crazy world now. I see the fraud is widely prevalent in the system. There were hundreds of bankrupt companies kept trading after filing BK11, and eventually, it became zero. There are many companies insiders manipulating stock prices, maybe shorting their own stock through third party, spread the bankruptcy rumors, cover it at the bottom for pennies. In many cases, they're retailers trying to fight out this nonsense without any oversight in this wild west to pull their tail out of huge losses somehow. Hence they buy up stock to cause the shorties to cover at higher prices. There are literally hundreds of companies' stock manipulated like this in the past while SEC is sleeping at wheel or watching. Come on now. What fun is left in the world if you can't pretend to be a big-shot day trader investing in bankrupt companies that are issuing stock? Truly the world has gone crazy. The greatest economy in the world, 100% backed by retail bag holders and funny money wizards. Welcome back to the Atlantis Report. You are here for your daily dose of the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. This market is not normal. DJI went up 4,000 points in a month. That's a lot of profit to take off the table. After yesterday, people are going to take profits on any bounces. Markets are still overpriced. The old pump and dump surely to happen. The rich got all their losses back and knew when to pull the plug. Super fishy market going on. There was no stopping this market a few days ago. A classic market manipulation. How do you think they're stealing your meager capital? The America I knew has rather changed. Now it seems that the Horn of Plenty is only open those who own stocks. I once remember the Horn of Plenty was open to hardworking Americans who held down jobs for decades. Issuing endless debt, taxing capital, and consuming it, and printing wealth out of thin air definitely works. Definitely, it does not matter what they do, because the real economy is not recovering. And they can't continue to print money at this rate without making the dollar worthless. You cannot use sand as a currency when you live on the beach. The Fed was, and will continue to prop up markets. Right now, you've got day traders pumping things up due to low volume, and you've got qualified investors cashing in to close out positions and banking profits. The large-scale investors have far more money and shares invested, so the stock drops much faster when the big boys start cashing in. Can the Fed really fight this massive exodus from equities and keep it propped up artificially? Everything is possible, even the impossible. Bankruptcies are the new growth industry, so why not take advantage? This market is not for those who believe in fundamentals. The economy no longer matters. Nor does the real economy. Nor sky-high unemployment. All that matters is that Wall Street re-elects Trump. He is the chosen one. You can fool some of the people some of the time, and that's enough to make a decent living. Ever since the Dow was down around 18K, the Fed printing press has been in overdrive, awarding stock market gains to the wealthy by way of taxpayer debt. Anyone surprised? How long can this game go on? Stocks should keep moving higher unless the Fed's printing press breaks down. It's all about program trading. The stock market is not the leading indicator of the economy anymore. That's now an old economic theory. It has been taken over by the algorithm-driven program trading, math AI models, controlled by 20 to 30 major financial services companies, hedge fund, brokerage, private equity, etc. These models decide the daily swings of the market. When the models are in tandem, the market generally stays up all day long, as was the case today. When they conflict, some wild swings come into play. Obviously, the central news and events are heavily weighted in those models. Of course, while the other professional day traders play along with the trend, they hardly influence the direction of the market anymore, contrary to the conventional wisdom or belief. There are people who buy just to be buying. No fundamentals left, just roll the dice. That's what I see people doing. The market has been overvalued since 2015. I think if people ever start looking at the company's data and start following the market fundamentals and taking a realistic look at the economy, the market will fall over the summer. Never in history has stock prices been this disconnected from the value of the underlying companies. At some point, the reality is going to set in, and it isn't going to be pretty. Gotta be crazy to put money into the market right now with the first little blip of a second wave of coronavirus cases right around the corner. All physical retailers and theme parks and restaurants and hotels and airlines and cruise lines and theaters and sports are all toast. Most small businesses that require people are toast. The market price is in the ionosphere, and most companies, 90% or more, will see revenues and earnings decline for many years. It's just reality, and there are few places to hide now. There is not one good reason to buy stocks or bonds. The pace of unemployment historically high, Fed and government debt at all-time highs, household debt at all-time highs, Fed forced to bail out banks, again, with unprecedented QE and repo loans, civil unrest in the country with protesting, looting, rioting, and killing, after limping through the weakest recovery and expansion in history. The US economy is sinking deeper into the abyss. This is what the Fed has created. Donald Trump has not drained the swamp. He has made it deeper. What the Fed has not mentioned is the precarious position banks are in right now. Bankruptcies are coming, and some big banks are going to lose their shirts. Remember Lehman Brothers? Get ready for round 2. I am looking at a run on most of the US banks, especially if this COVID-19 increases starting this summer and Father's Day and huge riots in the large cities. Already took out everything from the safety deposit box, not covered anyway by FDIC. With the Money Market Reform Act, you won't even be able to withdraw what little money you may have left in your bank, savings, or retirement accounts. It is not a matter of if, it is when is the only question. The Titanic is getting set, the music is playing, but we are hitting a solvency iceberg. Debt unwinding is coming. The America, as we knew it, no longer exists. Get right and sit tight, the worst is yet to come. This is worse than in 2008. We have many more unemployed. Car loans, mortgages, credit card debt are all going to be in trouble. That means banks and car dealers and so on and so on. I see a recession for 2 to 3 years. The market can never survive normality again, it will just be fraud until there is no market. Fraudulent, open, blatant corruption, and shameless cheating. The stock manipulators do what they know how to do. They add nothing to the wealth of our nation. Crazy speculation works until it doesn't. Calls, puts, naked shorts are a life of their own. The curtain has been pulled down on the wizard in the Emerald City. The economy is gutted. We are on the verge of war with China. Our cities are being torn apart. And nothing will stop this meteoric stock market rise until November 3, 2020. Then comes the Trump dynasty. It kind of reminds of the Romanovs, and we all know how that ended. The whole stock market is complete utter trash fabricated to benefit only the wealthy and screw the poor. They get the laser speed trading while poor puny bastards are using 4G internet trying to catch up like Robinhood. Front run every trade. A few cents times billions of trades per day adds up. Computer programs run the markets. Not you. All they care about are making money and making money. You are who they make money from. They're not going to let you go anywhere. The markets have morphed into video games. This is a nothing market. The only way to win is not to play. Only a moron would play this casino. If we went back to the gold standard, we wouldn't be trying to spend all our time speculating. We would be inventing stuff. Our economy became financialized by fiat. Imagine all the Wall Street jobs that would go if we returned to the gold standard. Robinhood won't order fill unless you are a cent above ask and a cent below bid. Better yet, they then sold their order flow to HFT players, lock their players into dark pools, and then block withdrawals. Oh, did I forget their clients are not even buying real stock. They're just buying a digit inside Robinhood's computer. Their trades don't even go out to any exchanges. Oh, this one even funnier, they just shut down selling while the market routes and their indexes are like 2% off the real market. The rest of the brokers are probably blue with envy that their frauds are modest in comparison. That's the power of free. Save your commission. Oh, just in case you want to make it even better, you can invest in a company that's bankrupt, like Hertz. What a deal. This is how the scam works. You buy, say, one share of a company $1,300, which is fine. But the order never gets to an exchange, and you never own the stock. As the price climbs on the aggregate across 1,000s of share buyers, millions of dollars flow into Robinhood. Then they simply watch the futures and shut down while the market corrects. Because nobody can sell while the price falls. Robinhood keeps the arbitrage spread of the price fall. That's why they'll always shut off while the price falls. Once the price falls significantly, the trading is reopened, and the client is now staring at their losses. So they sell. Robinhood credits them the difference, loss. Plus, they also squeeze the client a penny spread above ask and below bid, which is more percent in their pocket. Aggregated over the tens of millions of traders, they are making hundreds of millions off this. Oh, if that's not insulting enough, the HFTs see your order flow and their algos squeeze a penny here and there out of the whole thing. Surely the SEC will get after them for their accidentally on purpose shutdowns? Just kidding. The fine is never as high as the money they make off the crime. Isn't that what they say on Wall Street? I have never witnessed such blatant corruption in my life. What a disgraceful situation these bankers have created. Buy land, silver, or gold. I am trying to get out. Stocks are not worth at all. You can lose all of your money, definitely not investment. It is worse than gambling since it is all digital. The mafia sees your hand and steals your money.